You ever notice how sometimes it's not what a woman says, but what she doesn't say that pulls a man in? It's that quiet confidence when she walks into a room. The way she carries herself like she doesn't need attention, but somehow she gets it anyway. Men may not admit it, but we notice things. The small things. The subtle things. The things that don't need words because they speak louder than any conversation ever could. So tonight, let's talk about the 7 silent ways women attract men without ever saying a word. You know what really pulls people in, especially men? It's not the outfit, not the makeup, not even the smile. It's the presence. That quiet, steady confidence that walks into a room before you ever say a word. The kind that doesn't beg to be noticed, but somehow everyone notices anyway. Presence isn't about being the loudest voice or the brightest light. It's about carrying yourself in a way that says, I know who I am, and I'm good with that. There's a calmness in it, an unspoken strength, that's more powerful than any introduction could ever be. Men feel that presence. They sense it. It's like walking into a room and feeling the temperature shift, not because she's trying to make it shift, but because she naturally does. You can't fake that kind of energy. You can't script it or stage it. It's something that comes from knowing yourself so deeply that you don't need approval to validate your worth. That's what presence is. It's self-assurance without arrogance. It's not performing. It's being. A woman with presence doesn't have to chase attention. Attention finds her. And the funny thing is, she's not even trying to be impressive. She's just at peace with herself. You see it in the way she stands, rooted, relaxed, unshaken. The way she looks around the room, not comparing, not competing, just observing. She's not looking to outshine anyone because she already understands that no one else carries her light. That's what makes her magnetic. There's something incredibly attractive about that kind of self-trust. Men notice when a woman isn't desperate to be seen. It's rare. It's refreshing, because so much of what we see today is about noise, posting, proving, performing, and yet, the most captivating women are the ones who say the least, but mean the most. It's her energy that speaks for her. It's her stillness that draws people closer. The calm confidence that doesn't waver even when the room gets loud. That kind of woman doesn't walk into a space looking for validation. She walks in already knowing she belongs there. And when she does, men can feel it. There's something about that kind of self-possession that makes a man stop and pay attention. Not because she's trying to win anyone over, but because she doesn't need to. It's the kind of presence that says, I'm whole on my own. And that, right there, changes everything. Because when a woman knows she doesn't need anyone to define her, she becomes someone everyone wants to know. Presence isn't just about confidence. It's about comfort. Comfort in your own flaws, in your silence, in your stillness. It's about being real in a world that rewards performance. It's walking into a crowded space and knowing that even if no one says a word, your energy has already spoken. That's the language men understand. The one they can feel without needing an explanation. When a woman walks with that kind of quiet confidence, she shifts the atmosphere. Not because she's trying to be the center of attention, but because her peace becomes contagious. Her self-assurance becomes something people want to be around, and that's the difference between trying to attract someone and naturally drawing them in. It's not about the effort, it's about the essence. So if there's one thing that truly attracts a man without a single word, it's not the clothes, the hair, or even the smile. It's that grounded, authentic presence. The kind that whispers instead of shouts. The kind that doesn't demand attention but commands respect. It's the energy of a woman who knows she's enough and carries herself like she doesn't need to prove it to anyone. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, and that's not just poetic, it's real. Because the truth is, the eyes speak a language all their own. You can tell so much without saying a single word. The eyes can reveal confidence, warmth, curiosity, or even a challenge, and men, whether they admit it or not, notice that. They notice the way a woman looks at them, The way she holds eye contact, the way she communicates without moving her lips. There's something magnetic about it, something that hits deeper than any compliment or flirtation ever could. When a woman looks a man in the eye, really looks, it's like she's saying, I see you. Not just your appearance, not your performance, but you. In that moment, that connection, it lingers. Because in a world full of distractions, real attention is rare. It's powerful. It's disarming. Most people are so used to half listening, half looking, scrolling through their phones while pretending to be present. But when a woman locks eyes with a man, it pulls him into the moment. It grounds him. It makes him feel seen in a way he didn't even realize he was missing. It's not about staring. It's not about trying to seduce. It's about authenticity. The eyes have a way of saying what words can't. Honesty, openness, strength. Sometimes it's just a brief glance, held for one extra second longer than expected, and that's all it takes. That second carries emotion, intent, awareness. Men feel that, and they remember it. Think about it. There's a difference between a look that's searching for approval and one that's resting in confidence. The first says, I hope you like me. The second says, I'm comfortable with who I am. That's the one that draws people in. Because confidence doesn't live in how much you talk. It lives in how much you believe in yourself when you don't have to say anything at all. There's also warmth in the eyes. That subtle softness that tells someone they're safe to be real around you. A man might not know how to describe it, but he feels it. It's the difference between being looked at and being truly seen. And it's amazing how something so small can shift everything. Because eye contact isn't just communication, it's connection. It's two people sharing space where words become unnecessary. And yet, the beauty of it is in its balance. Too much intensity, and it can feel forced. Too little, and it fades away. But when it's genuine, when it's natural, it has this rhythm to it, a quiet exchange that builds curiosity. It makes a man wonder what's behind that glance, what kind of person carries that kind of calm, that kind of presence in her eyes. The eyes reflect how you feel about yourself. If you walk through the world anxious, unsure, hiding, you'll look down, you'll avoid connection. But when you walk through the world knowing your worth, your eyes lift. You meet the moment, you invite it, and that's the shift that changes how people see you. Because when you're not afraid to be seen, people can't help but notice you. Men may not always put it into words, but they read emotion like signals. A quick glance across a room can say, I'm confident, or I'm curious, or I'm kind, without ever needing to speak. The eyes are powerful because they bridge the gap between what we feel and what we show. They tell the truth even when words don't. And sometimes that truth is the most attractive thing in the room, because real eye contact, steady, open, unhurried, isn't about control or strategy. It's about being fully present in a world that's forgotten how to be. And when a woman can do that, she doesn't just attract attention, she holds it. There's something powerful about the way a woman moves, something subtle, something that can't quite be explained, but it's always noticed. It's not about perfection or performance. It's about the natural rhythm she carries in her body language. The quiet confidence in the way she walks, the way she sits, even the way she gestures when she speaks. It's all communication, even when she doesn't say a word, because men, whether they realize it or not, are wired to pick up on those unspoken signals. The tilt of her head, the calmness in her posture, the ease in her movements, those tiny, seemingly insignificant details often say more than a full conversation ever could. See, there's a difference between trying to look confident and being confident. When it's genuine, it shows in her body before it ever shows in her words. She doesn't need to exaggerate or overperform. She's relaxed, grounded, present. She's not stiff, not rehearsed. She's just herself. And that natural ease sends a message louder than any flirtation. I'm comfortable in my own skin. That's what truly draws a man in, because confidence doesn't always walk in heels. It walks in comfort. It doesn't rush, it moves with intention. It's not about seduction, it's about self-awareness. When a woman moves with grace, not because she's trying to impress, but because she's at peace with herself, it creates this quiet magnetism. She could be reaching for a cup of coffee or brushing her hair aside, and somehow it holds attention. It's not the action, it's the energy behind it. She's not self-conscious. She's not performing. She's just present in her body, and that presence translates into attraction. Men notice when a woman carries herself with purpose. Not the kind of purpose that says, "Look at me," but the kind that says, "I know where I'm going." That posture, shoulders relaxed, chin slightly lifted, steps steady, it communicates strength without words. It shows that she's not trying to fit in, she's already comfortable standing out. And that quiet assurance speaks volumes. Because the way you carry yourself tells people how to treat you long before you ever open your mouth. Even the smallest gestures can shift the entire energy of a room. The way she listens, leaning in just slightly, eyes focused, posture open, tells a man she's present. The way she smiles, not forced but genuine, tells him she's approachable. The way she moves away from chaos, instead of reacting to it, tells him she's grounded. Every motion, every pause, every still moment, those are all signals. And the most beautiful part is, she doesn't even have to try. When she's aligned with who she is, her body speaks naturally. Sometimes it's not the way she moves, but the way she's still, the way she holds her ground when things get loud or tense, the way she doesn't fidget when the silence stretches. That calm steadiness is rare, and men notice that too, because it takes strength to be still in a world that constantly tells you to rush, to prove, to perform. Stillness shows security. It shows that she's not trying to fill the space, she is the space. And that presence creates its own kind of gravity. A woman who is comfortable in her movements, confident in her stillness, and connected to her body communicates something words can't, that she knows herself. And that knowing, that inner peace, radiates outward. It tells the world, I'm not here to chase approval, I'm here to be real. And that's what draws people in. Because the most captivating movements aren't rehearsed, they're authentic. The ones that make someone look twice aren't performed, they're felt. And that's the truth about attraction. It doesn't live in what's loud or obvious. It lives in the quiet, graceful way she carries herself when no one's watching. There's a kind of energy that doesn't need to announce itself, yet it changes everything around it. It's that calm, graceful strength that lives inside a woman who knows her worth, the quiet power of femininity. And I don't mean the kind that fits into a box or follows a trend. I mean the kind that's authentic, the kind that's soft without being weak, kind without being naive, confident without needing control. That's the energy that draws people in, especially men, because it carries something rare, balance. True femininity isn't about appearance or attitude. It's not a certain look, tone, or behavior. It's about how a woman shows up in the world, with empathy, with composure, with warmth. It's the way she brings light into a space, not by being loud, but by being present. Men feel that. They're drawn to it because it's grounding. It's peaceful. It doesn't compete. It complements. In a world that's so fast and chaotic, that kind of calm feels like a breath of air you didn't realize you were holding out for. A woman who embraces her femininity doesn't chase validation. She moves with a quiet confidence that says, I know who I am, da. She doesn't need to prove strength by being harder than the world. She shows it by staying gentle despite it. And that kind of strength, it's undeniable, because real power doesn't need to flex. It doesn't need to fight to be seen. It's steady, it's patient, it's sure. Men can sense that difference instantly. It's in her reactions, how she handles tension, how she stays calm instead of reactive, how she chooses grace when pride would be easier. It's not about pretending everything's fine, it's about staying true to herself, even when things aren't. That's what makes her unforgettable. Because anyone can be loud, anyone can try to dominate a room, but it takes true composure to remain peaceful in the middle of noise. And that peace, it's magnetic. Femininity also lives in kindness, and not the performative kind. The kind that's quiet but powerful. It's in the way she treats people, not because they deserve it, but because that's who she is. It's in the patience she gives, the empathy she shows, the respect she carries for herself and others. That kind of kindness doesn't make her soft. It makes her strong. Because it takes courage to remain gentle in a world that often rewards harshness. And men notice that. They notice when a woman moves through life with calm assurance, when her words are measured, when her energy feels safe. They might not be able to describe it, but they feel it. It's that sense of ease she brings into the room. The way she listens, the way she smiles, the way she doesn't rush to fill silence with noise. That quiet grace creates connection without effort. It's not something you can fake. It's something that grows from self-respect and self-awareness. When a woman has done the inner work to understand herself, to heal, to forgive, to grow, her energy changes. She doesn't seek to prove her value because she already knows it. And that confidence radiates through every part of her being. It's in her voice, her presence, her touch, her stillness. She becomes the kind of person who draws attention not by trying, but simply by being. That's the beauty of true femininity. It's not a show, it's a presence. It's not about what she wears, but how she carries herself in it. It's not about what she says, but how she makes people feel when she speaks. It's the strength to stay kind, the courage to stay soft, the power to stay grounded. And when a woman embraces that balance, when she's both strong and gentle, confident and kind, she doesn't just attract attention. She inspires admiration. There's something undeniably powerful about silence. It's not emptiness, it's control, it's presence. It's the quiet kind of confidence that doesn't need to prove itself through constant talking or explaining. When a woman knows how to be silent, when she knows when not to respond, not to over-explain, not to chase clarity in every situation, that silence becomes magnetic. Because in a world where everyone's trying to be heard, the one who knows how to pause stands out, and men notice that. They feel that strength. It's the kind of mystery that doesn't hide something, it reveals something deeper. Silence doesn't mean indifference. It's awareness. It's knowing that not every thought needs to be voiced, not every emotion needs to be displayed. There's a calm control in that, a kind of emotional discipline that says, I don't need to prove my point to have one. And that's where the power lies, because a woman who knows her value doesn't rush to justify it. She lets her energy, her presence, her decisions speak for her. When she chooses silence, it's not because she doesn't have words. It's because she understands that words carry weight, and she's careful about how she uses them. That restraint, that patience. It shows maturity. It shows peace. It shows she's not controlled by impulse or emotion, but by intention. Men pick up on that energy instantly. It's calm. It's composed. It's mysterious in the best way because it makes them curious. They want to know what she's thinking, what she's feeling, what's behind that quiet expression. That mystery draws them in. There's also something deeply attractive about a woman who listens more than she speaks. It's not submissive. It's powerful. It's the ability to understand before reacting, to absorb before answering. That kind of listening presence makes a man feel seen, heard, respected, and it creates space for connection, for curiosity, for chemistry to build naturally. Because sometimes the strongest communication doesn't come from what's said, it comes from what's felt in the silence between the words. And silence can be strength in boundaries too. When a woman doesn't argue back to defend herself every time she's misunderstood, when she doesn't beg for understanding or chase explanations that don't serve her, that kind of silence speaks volumes. It says, I know who I am. I don't need your approval to confirm it. It's a quiet self-respect that's louder than any defense. That stillness, that peace, it unsettles people who expect a reaction, and it captivates those who understand its power. There's also a unique kind of beauty in how silence creates mystery, not because she's hiding, but because she's choosing not to reveal everything at once. It makes people curious about her story. It makes them pay attention when she does choose to speak. Her words have weight because they're not wasted. Her voice has power because it's not overused. And that balance, that ability to hold her energy until it's time to release it, is what makes her unforgettable. In relationships, that kind of quiet confidence builds trust. It tells a man she's grounded, that she won't explode in chaos or speak just to fill a void. She knows when to stay silent, when to listen, and when to let the moment breathe. And that self-control, it's rare. It's not passive. It's peaceful. It's knowing that her silence doesn't make her smaller. It makes her stronger. Because the truth is, silence isn't the absence of communication. It's the mastery of it. It's knowing that real power doesn't come from how much noise you make. It comes from the strength behind the quiet. And when a woman carries that kind of silence, she doesn't chase attention. She commands it. There's something about a woman who knows her worth that shifts the entire atmosphere around her. It's not pride and it's not ego, it's peace. The kind of peace that comes from self-respect. When a woman respects herself, truly, it shows in everything she does. It's in the way she speaks, the way she carries herself, the way she decides who gets her time and who doesn't. It's not loud, it's not defensive, it's steady. You can feel it before you even hear it. Because self-respect doesn't need to be declared, it radiates. A woman with self-respect doesn't chase love, because she knows she's worthy of it. She doesn't beg to be understood, because she knows her value doesn't depend on someone else's comprehension. She doesn't fight for attention, because she's already at peace with who she is. And that energy, calm, grounded, unapologetic, is magnetic. Men notice it immediately, even if they can't explain it. It's that subtle difference between someone who's seeking approval and someone who already carries it within. You can tell when a woman has that glow of self-respect. It's in her boundaries, not walls, but healthy limits. She doesn't say yes to everything, and she doesn't feel guilty for saying no. She values her time, her peace, her energy. She knows when to engage and when to walk away. And it's that discipline, that quiet control, that makes people take her seriously. Because she's not playing games, she's protecting her peace. And that protection doesn't come from fear, it comes from wisdom. Men admire that kind of clarity. It's rare, it's refreshing. Because it communicates something words can't. She's not looking for someone to complete her, she's looking for someone to meet her. And that difference changes everything. When a woman respects herself, she raises the standard, not just for how others treat her, but for how she experiences life. She doesn't accept half effort or empty promises. She doesn't tolerate disrespect disguised as affection. She knows what peace feels like, and she's unwilling to trade it for chaos. Self-respect also shows in how she handles disappointment. When things fall apart, she doesn't crumble, she recalibrates. When someone disrespects her, she doesn't explode, she distances. There's a power in her restraint, a quiet strength in her decision to protect her energy instead of proving her worth. She doesn't need to win every argument because she knows that walking away with her dignity intact is the real victory. And men notice that composure. They feel that balance because true strength isn't in reaction, it's in response. And here's the thing about self-respect, it's beautiful, but it's also rare. It's built, not borrowed. It comes from choosing yourself again and again, even when it's hard. From learning that being alone for the right reasons is better than being together for the wrong ones. From realizing that your peace, your self-worth, your happiness, they're not negotiable. That's the kind of energy that doesn't just attract, it inspires. Because when a woman respects herself, she gives others permission to do the same. She doesn't just carry confidence, she carries calm. She doesn't just look strong, she feels strong. And that strength doesn't come from never being hurt. It comes from healing, from knowing her own value so deeply that no one else's opinion can shake it. That kind of self-respect isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's knowing that love should add to your life, not define it. So when a woman walks through the world with that quiet confidence, that deep sense of worth, she doesn't have to demand respect. She attracts it. Because the glow that comes from self-respect isn't something you can fake. It's not surface level. It's soul deep. And that glow, it's what makes her unforgettable.